This is Fiona. She's our 4-year-old Jersey cow, and she gives about 3 to 4 gallons of milk a day. And we're going to do a little video today on udder care and machine milking. And this is Fiona's milking shed, just a little converted storage building. Picked it up real cheap, as you can see. And we're going to go inside and get started. So the components are the major components have a good strip cup, so that we'll strip the first few bits of milk into it, check for clots, check for flakes, anything unusual that's showing in the strip cup could be a sign of mastitis. The teat dip cup, where we put the teat coat for pre-dipping and post-dipping. And what you do is you'll fill it about a third of the way full inside the cup, put each teat into it, give it a squirt. I'll dump it out to make sure that there's no teat dip that goes from teat to teat, and then we do the same thing on each teat. Fill it up about a third, put it on the teat, dump it out, go to the next one. We use Dynamint Udder Cream, which is a really great product, and I put this on at the end after she's finished milking. Put it on her whole udder. Dynamint is not only good for sanitation, but also for stimulating milk production. And I've seen a difference in using Dynamint and not with the production of milk in our cow. And of course the teat wipes, and they're pretty small. You can use one per teat. If they're really dirty, you can use one for the whole udder. You want to massage it on each teat for about 15 seconds, and gets it nice and clean and sanitary before milking. And the surgical or the belly milker belt, just keep it hanging up in here. Put it on when it's time to hook up the milker, and it's what holds it on. Very important piece. And probably need to have a spare of these, and I don't. I need to get one. So. And a good set of wipes, towels, whatever. Just something clean that you can wipe off not only the udder but anything else in the milking shed. You want to keep the milking shed as clean as possible. We sweep ours out after every milking. I'll wash it out about once a month or so with a disinfectant soap, and have a mat in here that she can stand on. Also to help keep stuff off the floor, keep it from soaking into the wood, and something that you can wash off and sweep off very easy after each milking. So I washed my hands. I got on nitrile milking gloves. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to strip some of the first few bits of milk into the stripping cup. You can see she's got a leaker here. Sometime in the past, she's damaged this one particular teat, and when she lets her milk down, it starts coming down. So we'll do that one first, and we'll milk the first few strips into there, and everything's looking good. You can see everything. That's what you should see. No clots, no flakes, just milk, and everything looks good there. We'll clean that out later. Now we can go to our teat wipes, and her udder's pretty clean today, so we'll use one teat wipe. If it was really dirty, we'd use one per teat, but today we'll use one per udder, and just flip it over. You want to do each one for about 15 seconds. And clean each teat for about 15 seconds. Okay, so we've cleaned each teat for 15 seconds. And now we're ready to do the pre-dip, which is with the non-returnable or non-return teat dip cup. And we've got the teat coat in here. And what we'll do is we'll fill it about a third of the way full, and we'll put that on. I'll tell you what, I'll put a towel down here. We'll put that on one teat at a time, and I'll actually pour that out. Put it on the next one, next one, and the next one. Get them nice and coated. And of course, the reason why you go one at a time, you don't want any of the teat dip to follow from teat to teat, because if there's mastitis in any one of the teats, you're going to spread it to the other ones. Now we let that sit for about 30 seconds on there, and now we just wipe it off. And make sure you get it all off so you don't get any of it in the milk. Alright, so now that's good and clean. We're going to put the belt on, the surgical, and we're ready to put the milker on. And we're just gonna let the vacuum of the milker take each teat into it. There's no need to force it in there or anything. The vacuum of the milker itself, when you raise it up and you start that flow into the belly milker, it's going to take the teat right on into the inflation automatically. Sorry, babe. You want to make sure all your hoses are not crimped, but there's milk flowing. I use the silicone inflations and because you can see the milk actually going in, and that's important because, like especially on this cow, each one of her quarters will milk out in a different time frame. So being able to see when the actual milk flow is huge, and knowing when she is finally totally milked out, and that you're not just timing yourself, and you may be leaving milk inside her udder. So she'll take about 4 or 5 minutes right now, because we kind of went a little long today. Usually she'll milk out in about 2.5 minutes. That's about her average. This one has already stopped. This one's still going a little bit. The ones in the back here are still going pretty strong. She's got 1/4 that'll milk the longest, and it'll actually milk sometimes for a minute when the others have already stopped. So we're just about there. All right, now we're going to turn it off. And we'll release the vacuum, and it should just drop off of her teats. Shouldn't have to pull or tug at them. Now we're going to do our post teat dipping. Same way as we did before. About 1/3 of a cup. Each one separately. I'll pour out the excess that's now touched that teat. And now we're going to take the Dynamint, about 4 squirts, and I'm going to start from the other side of her udder around to the back, and we're just going to rub that Dynamint in. making sure that we get it worked into the fur and down to the skin, and that leaves everything smelling nice and minty too. It's an all-natural product, mostly peppermint oil, and I just can't say good enough things about it. And that's pretty much it for the milking. We're going to take the belt off. And with Fiona, even though she hasn't finished all of her grain, as a reward for not having to be tied up or use a stanchion and stand in one place, I'll let her take whatever's left in her bucket outside so she can finish it off. The last thing is to take all of the soiled papers, and this is mainly just milk and iodine, and just clean up the shed, get everything back the way it was before we came in, and get ready for the next milking. Get everything nice and clean. And that's pretty much it.